Welcome everyone to the Hot Cruisy webinar on our business expense manager and business expenses very generally. My name is Ellen. This is Katie Donovan. I'm sure everyone here has talked to us at least once. If you're really lucky, you've talked to us on multiple occasions. But we are here to kind of help navigate through our business expense manager, our BEM, as we like to call it. What I'm going to do is we'll kind of walk through the BEM itself, show you how to log in. And we will, like I said, we'll just kind of discuss business expenses very generally, but just know that questions are, feel free to ask questions. Katie will be here to help me answer these questions, make sure I don't miss any. And we'll try to get those answered for you the best we can. But let's go ahead and get started. So the BEM can be found through the Hot Cruisy website. If some of you have used this, I'm sure several of you have used this in the past. You click on this blue icon up here at the top right corner. You'll log in with your email, the password you have set for yourself, and this will take you into our portal. So from our home screen, this is running a little slow at the moment. So thankfully, being as prepared as I am, I have my business expense manager home screen pulled up right here. So our BEM, our business expense manager portal, this is a tool we really like to encourage for our clients, our financial advisors in their offices, because this is it's a little two-sided. We want to give you a really good organizational tool to keep all of your business expenses in one place. But on the other side of that, Hot Cruisy gets to receive your business expenses in an organized way. We get to see everything broken down by category, your year-to-date totals here up at the top. As much fun as it is going through a shoebox full of receipts mailed to the office, this is a little bit more time friendly. So this is why we like using the BEM. However, there are other methods. If we've set you up with a portal, you've used it on a handful of occasions, and then you reach out to Katie or I, and you're like, I have this spreadsheet that I've used. It's color coded. I have conditional formatting. I have tabs and I really love it. Do I absolutely have to use this portal? No, you don't. It's here if you need it. This is a great house for all of your out-of-pocket expenses, but no, it's certainly not a requirement, but it's a great tool. It is important to note, while logging business expenses, doesn't matter if it's in here, in your color coded spreadsheet, in a notebook, any receipt that you accumulate throughout the year, any expense that inevitably ends up on your tax return as a deduction, you really want to have a safe place to house these business expense receipts. You're going to want to keep them organized, in the event that any entity needs to verify any of these business deductions. You want to be able to pull these. Now, Hot Cruisy, your accountants, we don't have to see the receipts themselves. Like I said, the information that we need for tax season all ends up here in this business expense manager. We need to see the year-to-date totals, and then what the category that expense falls under. So have your receipts handy, be aware of where they are if you ever need to pull them, but that's generally it. And additionally too, before we really get into expenses that should be logged in this portal, it is important to note that if you have if you're running any of your expenses, any of your Edward Jones expenses that will show up on your profit and loss, or your pay bills or your BEP summary at the end of the year, those expenses do not or should not even be logged in this portal. This portal is going to house all of your out-of-pocket. So really anything you swipe your credit card for that ultimately doesn't really have a home, it doesn't run through any Jones system, can be logged here. Hot Cruisy, your accountants here, Blake, Dakota, Brandon, we will always ask you during tax season for your pay bills year to date summary. So we will always have that information as well as what you have here for your out of pockets. But what we can do now, Katie, I'm assuming any questions that have come through so far?
No questions yet. If you have any questions, make sure you can put them in the webinar chat, or you can use the Q&A box, either one, and I will chime in whenever they come in.
Great. So what we can do now is we can get into really just some popular expenses, things that we really recommend our FAs to keep track of. A big one to start with would be your car expenses. So car expenses, they're frequent. Gas receipts are tedious. This is kind of why we like to start usually by encouraging any money spent towards your vehicle. We'll get into mileage in a little bit, but any money spent towards your vehicle, do your best to save that information, keep those receipts, and log as much as you can. Gas receipts they're frequent, they're tedious, they can be easily lost. So this is a really great place to start setting up that system of saving these receipts. But generally, save everything. Save your gas. Save any maintenance that you may have done on your car, oil changes, anything. Save it. Additionally to that, mileage is kind of another big part of business expenses. So while you can't take both deductions, your accountants here, we're always going to ask you for both. So we're always going to ask you for mileage, and we're always going to ask you for any expenses for your car. So mileage kind of comes in two parts. Mileage on your tax return shows up as a percentage. So we're going to ask you for two things: your business miles and your total miles. And your total miles is really anything between January 1st through December 31st. And this can be logged here, in your BEM by, you can add in two different mileage categories. So here I have 6,000 miles, and I want my accountants to see that this was in fact for business. And then additionally, I have added another mileage expense here at 9,800 miles. So here I want my accountants to know that this was my total. So this is a really great way to add in this kind of information. So then your accountants will be able to get that percentage of your business miles driven.
I'm going to jump in really fast because
Absolutely.
we have a question. So we have a question asking if the categories, if they can be created, or if these are all fixed categories.
It's a really good question. These are actually all fixed categories. And what you will be able to see from the add receipt box is you have a ton of options. So most of the time with our FAs, you may use, 10 to 15 of these pretty frequently. There is a miscellaneous and an other category down here. So if you do end up with an expense that really doesn't fit in any of the categories here listed, you can absolutely use this miscellaneous or other category. And then in the receipt title box here, you are welcome to, add a little clarity. But really the receipt title box, as long as your accountants know, what the expense was for, it makes sense. This is a good option for you. But yeah, once you get into actually adding your expenses, the information that we need is pretty simple. You want to make sure to pick a category that works for your expense. So example, office expenses. If you spent $100 and you spent it at Target because you bought, a laptop charger for the office, you'll want to note the date. So we went to Target today. The receipt title could just be as simple as Target laptop charger. This way, Blake and Dakota know where that $100 went. You click add receipt. And then once you have that in here, everything will fall in these categories here. And then as you add more items, you'll have this number here as your year-to-date number. You'll see this go up. But that was a great question. So all of these are fixed, but you have plenty to choose from. Just try to stay consistent is probably our biggest recommendation there. Other really popular expenses, other than car stuff, that's a big one. Advertising and charitable donations. We get a lot of questions on this one. So sponsorships that you may do will fall under the advertising category. So, if you were to sponsor your local roller hockey league and you have a big Edward Jones banner out there, something like that would fall under advertising. But additionally, we'll always ask you if you made any donations throughout the year. So, maybe you've made a couple donations where, Edward Jones or your name isn't, it's not out there. That, the goal wouldn't be here with the donation to try to attract attention or, appeal to any new clients. This is, just out of the kindness of your heart. Those things here can be logged under charity, Whereas where you may, signify to people that you're with Jones and you want to, I guess, make a name for yourself at this particular event, that's where something like this would fall under advertising. Some other really popular things we like to encourage having in here, your estimated tax payments. If you make these throughout the year, this is a great place to house these so you don't have to dig them up through tax season. So here you can go ahead and signify, you pay the state, you pay the IRS for each quarter, you've got the amounts, your accountants can see them there. This is another thing too, where you can save the payment confirmation or the email that you've received. You can keep that information with your receipts as well. That may be handy to have. Dues and subscriptions. For example, if you use MileIQ to track your mileage, you can put in even just the year to date, because every month it's a fixed amount that's being withdrawn from your account. So at the end of the year, you're going to spend $52 on MileIQ. You can add this in, and right here, we'll be able to see this is it. This is the cost for the entire year, $52. Other big ones, meals and entertainment. So you have this can, you take a client out to Joe's Crab Shack and you can have your, this would be tip, tax included. You have your expenses here. Or if you make a run to the grocery store, you're going to throw a client appreciation barbecue, expenses here would fall under meals and entertainment as well. A little caveat to this particular expense category, the entertainment portion of this category is not deductible. So you're welcome to add these expenses in if you want a place to house these, but the entertainment cost themselves, they are not deductible. So don't just, if you have just meals and you want to keep those in this portal, this is a great place to put those. We will probably always ask you for your cell phone bill throughout the year. You're welcome to house any of your continuing education costs in here as well. Business clubs, if you're part of business club or networking group, you're welcome to house that information in here as well. Katie, as far as can you think of any other big ones that perhaps we didn't cover so far?
I think this is a good showing of what we typically have questions on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything in here where I'm thinking of something that's missing.
Yeah. And you're always welcome to email Katie or I. You can always give us a call here at the office as well. If she or I can't answer your question, we will, we'll find someone that can. We'll get to the answer as soon as possible. But just think of this as, like I said, this is an organizational tool that we offer our clients, and a lot of our FAs do use this. And if you're interested in getting a refresher course on how to use this, you can reach out. If you've forgotten your password, you can shoot us an email. We can reset your password. But yeah, no, this is here for you. We like it. Like I said, we like it because it gives us the information we need in a very comprehensive way. But this is a good tool. So I appreciate everyone that was able to make it. And if there are no other questions, I think we've covered the main portion of the BEM. And I think coming up, we may be getting a little bit deeper into some of our expenses that we normally recommend, but I hope everyone has a great day, and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.